This video outlines some of the features available to a full editing teacher, and this is a status again we can give to registered colleagues in schools and colleges and training companies on request. One word of warning, editing teacher status also gives powers of deletion, so take care. If you mess anything up in the courses, we can delete it and reset everything, but can't always get back work that's been done. So take care with this power. If unsure, stick with non-editing status for the time being. Anyway, I'm logged in here as an admin, but I've switched it through the system that I have to be a full teacher, so I can edit and make changes. Now, mostly the view that you see on the screen is very similar to what the student sees, except you'll also notice in an administration menu you've got quite a few more things available to you in here. And one of the key ones, as I've just mentioned, is that you have editing powers now. So if I click that link there to turn editing on, for example, clicking these crosses down here will delete that entire section of learning. But you can also move the sections around and even edit the titles of them and things like that, or switch them on and off so that students can only see them at certain dates. From the front page of the site, just while I'm thinking of it, if I just go back here, there is, let me turn editing off so it looks as normal. From the front page of the site, you'll see that there's a nice Moodle book there that you can download, and downloading that particular book allows you to, learn all about the detailed features, which I'm not going to go through at this time. I'm just going to go through a few key things. So definitely look at that book if you want to become more involved. Okay, so let me just switch back to where I was last time. There we go. So we're on this particular screen. Again, I'm going to turn off that editing feature using the button over there, or you can use the link over there. Okay, now going down here, clicking this allows you to change the settings on the course. It allows you to change the time that the course becomes available. You can change the enrollment key and all sorts of things in there. Again, check back at the book if necessary. You can assign roles when you are a full editing teacher. For example, you can make your own colleagues into normal teachers, which is one step beneath wherever you are, and you can also assign roles to students. Okay, you can check grades just like before, and you can look at reports just like we've mentioned before. You can edit the questions now. You can look at the files that are uploaded, and you can upload new files. You can make a backup of the course, and you can restore the course, and you can reset the course. But again, take care with all of these until you realize the power that you've been given. Be careful, because like I said, we can wipe everything out and rebuild it for you if you make a mistake, but you could lose results while you're doing it. If in doubt, of course, get in touch, ask, we'll help if we can. Anyway, one of the key features that I wanted to show you as a full editing teacher is the power to make groups. So, for example, you'll be in one particular area for your college, school or training company, but you want sub-areas in it. So, for example, Ford students might go in one group, or other students might go in another group, and things like that. So all we need to do for this is to click the groups link over on the left-hand side here, as you can see, and up it comes now, showing that at the moment we don't have any groups, and therefore there are no members of them. And hopefully it's fairly straightforward that we can click the button down here that says create a group. So we click that button, and I'm going to create a group, and we get an option now to have a name. So I'm just going to say Ford, for example, and this can be anything you like. You can also create a specific enrollment key here for this group, and then as your new students enroll, if they use the key that you put in here, and do keep that secret from everybody except your students, of course, it will automatically enroll them on the course, but also put them in this particular group. So that might be a useful feature for you. Okay, and you can include a picture and so on if you wish, but let's keep it simple for now and save the changes. Okay, when I click that Save the Changes button, you'll see it just goes back to the one we were looking at before, but we've now got a group called Ford over here. Okay, so you can see now that we can edit the settings, we can delete it or create another group, or we can add and remove users. So let's click that button, see what happens now, and we get to a list here where it's listing out all the students in this particular course area. So let's, for example, put this person called Tom Denton in here, and we just simply click add, and you'll see now it puts him in that particular group. And there's another one called a student. Creative, eh? Okay, and so we've now got that particular group, and we can go back to the groups, and there we go, and you can see that members of that particular group are this character here and another one called a student. And that's it. Okay, that's how to create groups, and you can move students into groups, you can move them out of groups. They can even be in more than one group if you wish. Okay, so you might have, I don't know, level 1 group, level 2 group, or the engines group, or the electrical group, whatever you think will be useful. It's entirely up to you where you set the groups up. Okay, and that's it now. That was setting up groups. That was a key thing. Once we've set up groups, of course, if I just go back now and look at something like grades or reports, let's look at reports like we looked at before. We can say now, well, we're in this particular unit or course area, but this time we want to, instead of looking at all groups in the area, we just want to narrow it down to my Ford group of students, for example. I want to look at all the participants in that particular group and what they've been doing just on this particular day, just like we looked at before. So we get these logs, and this time it just lists out what this one character has been doing in that particular group. Okay, as it happens, it'll be pretty much the same results as before, but I think you get the idea. Once you've moved your students into a group, you can narrow down the results of what that particular student has been doing. Okay, so if we go back to here, you'll see a similar thing happens if I go through and look at the grades. So I clicked on the grades link over on the left hand side, and now I've got an option here to look at separate groups. This is listing everybody, so maybe somebody will want an overview. Maybe the head of department would look at this list, whereas individual tutors and instructors might just want to look at that. So the Ford group, for example, and give it a second, and you can see now it's narrowed it down to just the 2 students that are in that particular group, showing average scores and so on. Okay, so there we go. Click that one and go back. That was making groups. That's one of the key features of editing teacher status. And like I said before, it is possible by turning editing on to delete things down here. It's also possible when you turn editing on to add new material. So if you wanted to upload some pictures or set up something new on here, you have full editing rights. But let me finish with the warning once again. Those full rights come with the power to delete everything. So please be careful. There you go. That's it. Full editing teacher status.